Well, I got the blocks finished off, chaps. When I take a measurement on this side of this block and spin it round and measure the other side, I'm getting a difference of 1.5 thou tilt that way, if that makes any sense. And the other one, I'm getting a thou. When I stand them on their ends and do the same thing, this one's out by 2 thou when that side's on the deck, and the back one's out by 3.5 thou when that side's on the deck, when it's stood up, if that makes any sense. So I've just been redressing the magnet. So I'll just bring this down till it touches. This paper's about, what is it, 3 to 4 thou thick. Come a bit further than I thought. So as soon as I feel it, as soon as it snatches it out my fingers, I know I've got 3 to 4 thou to go before I hit the work. So I think what we might do is just make sure that I'm right in what I'm thinking. So I'm going to bring it down until it's just sparking, and then I'm going to let it go across and see where all my high points are. I'll bring you in a bit closer. So I'm just looking for a little sparky. I saw one then. I know one thing. The traverse speed's too high. I'm going to cut that down a bit. Like that. When I say the traverse speed, I meant the in and out. I'll bring you out a little bit. It's a bit more like it, isn't it? So I think plan of attack. I think I'm going to rough grind them in. Then I'm going to drill all my holes in the sides of them. Because that back block is really hard, I bought a new Tappan M8 red ring, especially for harder steels. It's can you see that? Yeah, it's a Gurin one. So I've got that to tap the holes with, and I also bought tapping drill, little carbide stubby, so we don't run out of drill as we're doing it. Be interested to see now if it touches this other block, won't it? So yeah, going back to what I was saying, to get them ground in, roughed in, then drill all the holes. Not that I think that the blocks are going to move when I drill the holes, but you just never know, do you? And then once I'm happy with all that, we'll get them back on the grinder and we'll do one final grind to try to get them as good as we can. Right, I'm going to put half a thou on that and just see if we're touching anywhere on this near block. if you're wondering what the wheel is, it's a 46 grit H. The wheel I did the mag plate with was a 46J. Still not touching this side, is it? We're doing about 35,000, 40,000 step over, somewhere in that ballpark. Height wise it's turned out okay, because I didn't mill them both in parallel, did I? I think I'd measured them with a micrometer, didn't I? Touching the back one a bit now, look. Right, we'll carry on and then see where we get to, shall we? I'm about 2 thou down, and I'm just starting to catch this block here. So I'm maybe going to need another couple of thou to clean them all up, I think. It's missing that back edge. I've increased the step over now, about 50, 60 thou. Another half a thou on it. So we've got to the point where we've cleaned it up. I'm going to put just a couple of tenths on and let it go back across, and then bring it back to me once more, just to let it spark out. One of the viewers to this channel, Michael Murray, I don't know if you can see that on there, can you? Oh, I'm not on autofocus. Mike's a real good chap, Mike is. He's across the pond, and he bought a surface grinder a while ago, and it's not the same as this one. It doesn't run on V-ways, it runs on ball bearings. He had a few issues with it, but he's done a really top job of sorting it all out. He didn't make the new ball bearings to go in it, but all the rails that they sit in, he made what they call a pierced die, which kind of made my ears prick up a little bit, seeing as my name's Pierce. But if you haven't seen it, it's well worth having a look at. He should be, as we speak, starting to use the machine now, I would say. In fact, I should imagine he already is. But if you're watching this, Michael, I have been following that build on that, and yeah, you've done a really good job there, mate. I hope it works out to be a really accurate machine. So I'm coming back now. I haven't put any more cut on that. I'm just letting it spark out, but I've just made a mistake there. After watching Steve Barton on Solid Rock, what he suggests is when you come across, take your last pass, and then you're going to go across and let it spark out like I'm doing. I should have altered the in and out traverse on it, so it's not following the same track, if you see what I mean. That finish that we've got on there at the moment, that's not going to be the final finish. I'm going to try and get it better than that. I think when this comes off this side, I'm going to alter the traverse, cut it by half, and then let it go back at that. So once I've got that done, we'll get the block slipped and do the other side. But I'll have to redress the wheel when I do that. So I'm just going to alter the traverse and do this, and then we'll pick it up again in a minute or two. I just thought I'd show you this. I haven't put any more cut on, so it's already been across once at this setting, but because I've slowed the or altered the increments that it's coming back towards me, you can see the odd spark coming off there, look. So we'll see how that looks when we get it done. When I get the other two sides, when I flip these over and grind the other two sides, we'll get it on the mag plate. We'll have a bit of a measure, shall we, and see how we're doing for parallelism. In fact, I think, yeah, you've seen me grind this side, so I shan't bother showing you the other side. Next bit will be on the surface plate. Right, chaps, I don't know whether we're going to be able to see the gauge here, but I've just had a quick look myself. We're about half a tenth under. What can we see on the screen? Well, you get a general idea where the needle is, don't you? So half a tenth under, 0, half a tenth, 0. Let's try this other one. Zero, half a tenth again. What's happened there? I think I bumped the gauge a bit. This is a tenth indicator, this, so from 0 to 1 is 1/10. Sorry, 0 to 1 is 1/1000. So 0, 0, 2.5 tenths under, half a tenth under. What I'm experiencing issue-wise is this block is considerably harder than that block. So what I've noticed is as the grinding wheel's coming across, I mean it's not a bad finish. There's a few ripples in there that I know is caused because the grinding wheel was loaded up before I got, you know, to do my final finish. But like I said before, this is just a rough grind to get them, you know, pretty close. So because this is so much harder, I can see it sparking like mad when it's coming across here. Well, not sparking like mad, but you know, as you'd expect. And then when it drops onto this one, it's not sparking hardly at all because it's wearing the wheel, because a H wheel is fairly soft. So we'll see how we get on a bit further along. I may have to do something a bit different with these. So while we've got that there, let's see. My dial gauge here, I was on the bottom, can we see that? On the bottom of here, I was going to put a toe on it, you know, with a radius on for coming up the side of these blocks. But my problem is well, I can't do it because this is a Moore and Wright. It was owned by, obviously, by where's his name? A guy called Mr. Paget in 1942. And the actual scribbling block itself is hardened, so there's no way that I can drill it to put some kind of toe on the front unless anybody's got any ideas for me. So if I bring that up to there, you're getting this a bit arse about face off. Bring that down there. And then up to there. Just lock these off. Right, so if I... Right, can you see that? Bring it in just a little bit. So if I bring that up to that block and square the bottom up, and we get the 0 around there a bit maybe. Right, so we 0 that side. We're 4 thou out that side. So we've got 2 thou either side of centre, haven't we? Where we're leaning over. Although, I've got to be honest, I didn't think that was that bad before. I've got some dirt under it. Let's try that again. Oh, hang on, what's going on here? So we're 0 there. That's a bit more like it. 2 thou. We'll check this other one. Drop this down. Right, 0. Minus 2.5. Let's try it the other way up. So 0. That seems 4 thou difference there. Something's not right somewhere because I haven't got the measurements mine here. 0. Yeah, 4 thou difference in that one. That way up. This way up. That's 0 there. Yeah, 4 thou that way. Anyway. So I've just been and ground these top and bottom. So we've got the 2 sides ground. Can we see that? Yeah. Got the 2 sides ground, which are nice and parallel to one another. And this is the side I've just ground. So we've got 0 there. And we've got less than 1 thou that side. Sorry, this is a 10th indicator, less than 1/10. So we're 1/10 under there. Yeah, it's getting blown. The screen's the test indicator's getting blown out a bit. So we've got 0 there. We'll bring that in. 0 there. So let's just turn this up the other way. Plus 1/10. 3/4 of 1/10, half 1/10 under maybe. Oh, that's 1/10 under. That's 1/10 over. So when it's sat with this side down, let me just bring it out a bit. When it's sat with that side down, we're smack on. And I can't tell you how surprised I am. 0. Well, it's just, yeah, 0. And then, oh, it's me, I've touched the back of the surface gauge adjuster. It's not the best surface gauge in the world, this one, to be honest, but you use what you've got, don't you? So we're just a tad over there. So 0, 0. Alright, let's spin it again. Smack on 0. Right, well, for an old grinding machine and area house plumber, I'm quite happy with that. When we lay this block down, which we tested before, we've got, this is perfectly flat, you know, when I run the test indicator on it. So now what we've got to do is to alter this, haven't we, to see how far out it is that way. Now I step ground it to get it somewhere close, and I'm not going to try for 1 minute to try to make out that I really know what I'm doing. The best thing I can say to you is to go and watch Steve Barton on Solid Rock Machine Shop, because that's all I've done. I've watched quite a few people grinding over time, and Stan Zakowski, and who else is another one. I can't remember who they are now. But I find that, right, let's see what we can get here. I find that Steve Barton at Solid Rock Machine Shop, not only does he, know what he's doing, but he seems to explain it in a way that even I can understand. And I'm so grateful to him for putting his videos up that he has. I think it's what he does full time every day, he's grinding, so you would expect him to know what he's doing, but to show the sort of enthusiasm that he does when he's been doing it all day, and then come home and do it again when he gets home for videos, I think is pretty damn good. Right, so we've got 0 that side. Just have to get my marker pen. Now you can see all the machining marks on the top of this. I haven't touched any of this block yet on these ends. So, right, so we've got 4 thou and a 10th and a half, so that's, no, that would be 0, 0, 4, 1, 5, wouldn't it? I'll just double check that. Yeah. Now we're about a 10th over there. Let's flip the block over and do it from the other way. See which end's worse. It sounds a lot, 4 thou, but it's quite a tall block this. It must be like 6 inches, I think, at least. And bear in mind those ends have only been machined on the mill. I've come to realise something else. My surface plate is not what I thought it was. Right, so we're about half a 10th under there. We'll call that side 0. No, we're 4.5 thou out that way. So what we'll do, we'll get rid of that. And we'll stick with this side that we did first. I'll just double check it, we'll just re-zero that gauge. Come on. It's just a tad over. Yeah, so there we've got 4 thou and 3/10. Let's just go back and, we're under a little bit. Oh, bloody thing. God, it is difficult to keep repeating. Oh no, is everything tight on my surface gate? Try again. Looks like I need to look for a new surface gauge, doesn't it? No, that's not too bad. Yeah, we're back to the 4th out and a 10th. So oh, it was a 10th and a half, wasn't it? So the way I've been working it is, when we go back that way, this is how I've been taking it from Steve, is that we're getting a plus. So it's telling me that the block, let me see, block is leaning over that way. So in order to get it to come back, we've got to leave a step on this corner down here. So what I'll do, I'll put an arrow on so when I come back I can have this facing me so I know which way I did it. So 4th thou is, the way it works is we've got 4th thou difference in the top, so we can halve that because it's 4th thou overall, isn't it? So that gives us 2th thou. But then we only want to be taking half of that off. It gets a little bit misleading sometimes, but so basically what we want off here, not off this end, off this end is where we want to leave the step. So we want to leave a step there. I'm just going to double check this, make sure I'm thinking about this the right way. That's leaning over. I've got that wrong, haven't I? So if that's leaning over that way, yeah, no, I am right, yeah. I need to leave a bit in that, on that edge, and I'm just going to grind a thou off it. And what I'll do, I'll grind all the way across until I've got it nice and flat, and then I'll put a blue line on this edge and I'll come as close as I dare, and I'll just take a thou off from there to there, and that should give us the thou step, and then we'll check it again. You wouldn't think a thou would make that much difference, but it seems to. There was one thing else I was going to mention. If I let me go and find it first. So I was hoping you boys and girls can maybe give me some advice. This, I think, is going to be my next project once I've got these blocks done. Now this is an arbor off of my grinding wheel, what holds the wheels on. And this is obviously the part you lock the wheel onto the thing with. I'm struggling a little bit with finish. Now the camera will pick this up so you can see all those lines there. It's where the wheel's been jumping. Now you can't see them until you run over it with a stone. I mean, can I find a good side there? That's the sort of finish I can get. Oh, that's better. Look. When I've just dressed the wheel and there's virtually no chatter lines in there. But I think my issue is I can't balance my wheels. My grinder's not bolted to the floor. I'm not going to do anything about trying to bolt the grinder to the floor because the floor's that crap. You'd never be able to bolt it to anything. That'll be something I do in the next few years when I build myself a new workshop, all being well. But in the meantime, I want to build some new arbors for the grinder. I've got to sit down here with a pen and piece of paper and think of, I suppose you'd say, the order of turning and the order of how I'm going to make them. Obviously I'm going to need to make an arbor with that taper on the end of it, so that when I'm machining the taper in these, I can do a test fit and make sure that we're right. The arbor that's on the grinder at the moment, it has a ring inside here with 2 weights in it that you can adjust the wheel to balance it. So I haven't got a wheel balancer, but I'm going to make one once I've finished messing about with these blocks. That's going to be my next thing, and I'm just going to make it out of a piece of channel. I'm going to put 3 legs under the bottom. I'm going to grind it all the way around so it's all nice and flat, and I'm going to grind 2 ridges on the top, make an arbor for these so I can balance the wheels. In fact, what I'm hoping to do is to make some new grinding hubs, and in the process of doing that I will make an arbor to mount these on, but also I want to be able to use that arbor as well to balance the wheels when I'm finished. But I would like a little bit of advice or some thought on what you guys think about balancing these wheels, because there'd be little point in making an arbor if I can't balance them, would there? Sorry, a balancing thing. But I'm not so sure as I want to mess about trying to cut a ring in the back of there and making up the two little weights that go in. In fact, I can't find the weights at the minute. I took them out and they're in a little tub somewhere. I'm going to have to hunt around and find them. But I was thinking, this ring is nearly the same diameter as that. This is, take a notice of that one, that's just to show you what it looks like. But it's about the same diameter as that. And I'm thinking, what if I drilled a load of small holes around it so I could put grub screws in and use the grub screws as a way of, you know, moving them around the wheel, trying to balance the wheel. I haven't really give it that much thought, but I thought to myself that while we're doing this, I'll ask the question, because it'll be a while before I get to that, and see what you boys and girls think. If anybody can come up with any really good ideas of how to balance these wheels once I've made a wheel balancer. I mean, going back to this, on this video, when I ground these a little while back on the video, that's actually 3 weeks ago from now, because I've been that busy with work, I haven't had time to get in here. It's Friday afternoon, I finished early, so I thought I'd come and grind these two sides, get them as plumb as I can with these two sides. But while I'm in here, I'm going to have a go at grinding the tops off now and see how we get like that. But we've got, like I was saying, what's that? That's -2 that way. Yeah, and that's 4, yes, that's working about right. But then we've got it this way as well, haven't we? Which I've just suddenly realised as I'm stood here looking at it. See how far out we are, tipping away now, it's 0. Well, would you look at that? -1/10. At the beginning of this, I thought to myself, if I could get one of these blocks square within a thou all the way around, I'd be more than happy. Well, it's looking like I may change that idea and go for just a couple of tenths. Steve Barton keeps going on about 50 millionths. I think 50 millionths is half a tenth, but I'm not sure. I'm sure somebody will chime in and put me right on that. So we'll get this on the grinder, we'll grind this flat and then grind this thou step in this side. We'll come back and we'll see what difference that's made. Just dry this off because it's all covered in coolant. So I've ground a 1,000th step into it. Now, I'm not looking to try to get this absolutely perfect at the moment because, like I was saying, I would like to, whether this surface plate's got stuff stuck on it, I would like to do my final grind once I've got a wheel balancer made, because that's going to give me my best chance of getting it as good as I can, really. Right. That's hanging on 0. So if this was within 3 or 4 tenths, I'd be happy. And we're nowhere near. Right, let's 0 this side. That'll give us a... Oh, I have a feeling I've ground the wrong way. 0. Oh, crikey, what we got now then? Right, let's... Another thing I've realised that I'm struggling with is it's no good trying to grind things as accurate as this when your grinder's cold, when all the oil and everything's cold. My grinder, it runs on V-ways, and it pumps a little bit of oil up onto the V-ways as it's running. Of course, as it's getting up to temperature, it changes. Right, so it goes back around to 2. to there. Ah. Yeah, I've gone the wrong way. Well, at least it happens on video, doesn't it? So I will correct that and grind it the right way. I think we've about enough on this video for this one anyway. But, if we can have a bit of a think about this, boys and girls, and see if we can come up with a cunning plan between us, it'd be much appreciated, and we can have a bit of a go at that. I see since the beginning of the month we've another 40 odd subscribers come to join the gang, which is really appreciative, or should I say I really appreciate it. So yeah, hello to all the new ones, and we'll carry on with this on the next video. I will try and work out now which way I should have gone, because that's where I don't know whether the camera will pick that up. I've left a step on there of 1/1000th of an inch. So, like I say, I'll work out where I went wrong, grind the other way. Oh dear God. And then we'll see you on the next one. Right, till next time. See you later.